Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from CNN. This was published on January 7th. It's written by Pete Mutine, Gregory Wallace, Eric Levinson, and Francesca Street. And what gets me about this is it takes that many people to write this piece of propaganda, because basically what they're trying to do is they're going to try to frame this beginning all Trump supporters as, violent and insurrectionists and, terrorists, and this is just the beginning. All right, let's just ignore the fact that the Capitol Police let the gates fly open, like actually open them themselves, and ushered people in. Let's just ignore the fact that the autists of the internet have proven that pretty much all the people that were trying to say burn down the Capitol and stuff like that were Antifa leftist activist shitbricks. Let's just ignore all those things, because we need to paint Trump supporters a certain way, because now they're going to go after every one of us. They're going to try to make as many of us as examples as possible to try to stop people from never stepping out of line again, never going and thinking that this country should be put first, that Americans should be put first, going against the establishment. How dare you? Yeah. So let's look at how they're trying to frame this here. Airlines and two unions representing flight attendants are concerned about in-flight security as the pro-Trump rioters who stormed the U.S. Capitol Wednesday leave the Washington, D.C. area. That's basically all people that were down in Washington they're worried about. American Airlines and United Airlines have both increased staffing at the D.C. area airports where they operate. American is also suspending alcohol service on its flights to and from the region. See, you can't have alcohol because of big, bad, evil, mean Trump supporters. I mean, this is sad shit. The Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, oh God, the CWA? Communications Workers, the CWA is the Communications Workers of America, I believe. AFA International, which represents nearly 50,000 flight attendants at 17 airlines, said the rioters should not be allowed on flights home. Seriously. All the lefties in the airlines want to screw these people over already. That's what this is about. Okay? The rioters, basically anyone who was down there to support Trump, to support, the constitutional process playing out, to support the fact of, maybe trying to get members of Congress from actually growing a spine and following the constitutional process. Those people, they're calling rioters here. They don't want any of them to be able to catch a flight home. Their violent and seditious actions at the Capitol. Seditious, excuse me. All the shady shit that happened during the election, that ain't seditious. That isn't, treason. That isn't anything like that. Oh, no. Oh, that was the safest, most securest election ever. People saying that they're not going to put up with what happened and demonstrating and protesting is seditious now. But anyway, their violent and seditious actions at the Capitol Wednesday create further concern about the departure from the D.C. area. AFA President Sarah Nelson said in a statement, "Acts against our democracy, our government, and the freedom we claim as Americans must disqualify these individuals from the freedom of flight." Excuse me, you have a right, according to the Constitution, you have a right to travel freely. What do you want them put on the no-fly list? That violates their constitutional right to travel freely within this country. You people are disgusting. Trying to use the union and trying to use the power of the airlines to make it so, how dare you not bend over and take the Democrat dick? How dare you not accept that, CISA with Dominion as part of it, saying this was the most securest election ever? How dare you not accept that? You won't be able to travel anywhere. You won't be able to do this. You won't be able to do that. This is just the beginning, people. The union that represents American Airlines flight crew, Association of Professional Flight Attendants, also issued a statement about in-flight incidents. "We are incredibly concerned about recent politically motivated incidents on board passenger aircraft," read the release from the APFA President Julie Hendrick. "Regardless of one's political beliefs, the cabin of a commercial aircraft must be out of necessity, be a calm environment for the safety of everyone on board." Yeah, and what's funny is Trump supporters are the ones who, clean up shit. They don't destroy it. They're the ones that tend to be peaceful. They're the ones that, proven by the autists of the internet, were the ones that were actually stopping those Antifa leftist activists from burning down the Capitol building. Seriously. But, we got a narrative to push, and we got to make Trump supporters pay for daring to support a man, okay, who had the interest of this country and Americans first. I mean, these people are ridiculous. The statements come after several altercations on flights to D.C. ahead of the gathering. The president's most fervent supporters, a gathering of the president's most fervent supporters. So then they go, capital extremist group, and you gotta love it. They're pushing a narrative here. One video shared on Twitter showed Trump supporters yelling and arguing with other passengers aboard the American Airlines flight. Okay, without any context, who started it? Are they supposed to just sit there and bend over and take it? According to you, they should. Because you're not giving any context here. You're not giving a link to the video or anything. How convenient. In addition, Washington Post photographer Jabin Bostford posted a video on Twitter of two passengers being removed from a flight to D.C. Another video showed pro-Trump supporters heckling Senator Mitt Romney in the airport and on a flight. Oh my God. Okay, so hold on here. We don't know the context of the two passengers being removed from the flight to D.C. We have no understanding of that, but we're just supposed to accept this is about to back their bullshit, okay? And then other videos show pro-Trump supporters heckling Mitt Romney in the airport and on a flight. So basically, calling him out for being an establishment piece of shit, letting him know that Americans are not going to forget that what he's doing. The fact that they're letting him know that they're not just going to bend over and accept, because, he's planning on running for president again, accept him ever as being president, just basically letting him know that they're never going to forget this shit, is heckling him. How dare Americans exercise their First Amendment right and let Romney know how they feel? A man who's supposed to represent Americans in government. How dare you go to the anointed rhino and the Democrat anointed rhino that they all love and tell him where the hell to get off? The mob mentality behavior that took place on several flights into the D.C. area Tuesday was unacceptable and threatened the safety and security of every single person on board. It will not happen again, Nelson said. Oh, come on, get bent, dude. So people that are actually together there, that are going there, that think similarly, oh my God, herd mentality, piss off, dude. The mob mentality, piss off. President Trump had encouraged his supporters to come to the Capitol to protest the certification of President-elect Joe Biden's election win. Once there, a large group of supporters attacked Capitol police officers and violently forced their way into the Capitol building on Wednesday, leaving 4 people dead. Okay, first off, all right, the Capitol police opened the barriers, let them in, and ran like scared little bitches. This was set up to be a Reichstag-type situation. They wanted a Reichstag fire. They wanted the Capitol building to be burned down because they're running scared right now. Okay? Because if they had nothing to worry about, they wouldn't be trying to get Trump out now. They're afraid that he's going to expose more of their crap. They're afraid that he's going to declassify a bunch of stuff that they don't want declassified. They're afraid he's going to pardon people. Like Snowden and Assange. Wow, I can remember Snowden's name now. My last video I was doing, I couldn't remember it. I'm sitting there with a brain fart. But yeah, Snowden and Assange, they're afraid because he's got nothing to lose at this point. So they're going to try to get him out by hook or crook, 25th Amendment or impeaching him, because they don't want him being able to do anything that's going to expose their crap. Okay, and this idea that the Capitol Police were assaulted, they ran. They opened the gates and then ran inside. They wanted a Reichstag situation. Videos prove this, but they're going to push this narrative. And I bet you they're going to remove the videos. They're going to, how dare you question, the legacy media? How dare you, show proof that the people that were trying to burn the building down and were actually causing a lot of the shit that were getting stopped by actual Trump supporters were Antifa that have been caught at all these different locations stirring up shit? Let's just ignore all that. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the 4 people dead, okay? They weren't getting assaulted. The woman didn't need to get shot. The other people didn't need to fall off over the railing. They wanted utter and total chaos. They didn't get it, though. And now they're going to still run with the crazy-ass narrative. Give me a break. Altercations aboard flights earlier this week. APFA spokesman Paul Hartshorn Jr. told CNN Travel that the union had suspected there might be a rise in unruly passenger behavior this week, but not on such a threatening and violent level. There was nothing really going on these flights. Threatening and violent level. Okay, calling Romney out. Oh my God. Oh no. Videos taken out of context that, most likely had the left starting shit and the Trump supporters saying, we're not going to put up with this. Violent, verbal altercations. Yeah, okay, whatever. On flights in and out of Washington, several flight attendants on several different airlines have been forced to confront more than one passenger on board who's verbally and or physically abusive to the crew and to the passengers, said Hartshorn. That's not something we should be dealing with. Well, first off, you make these claims. Where's the proof? We're just supposed to accept at face value this is the truth. I'm sorry, but if you're trying to prove something, where's the evidence? CNN saying these videos, they bring up videos. Why aren't you showing them? Why aren't you linking them? Why aren't you showing them? Because maybe they don't necessarily fit your narrative you're trying to push here. I mean, that could be a good reason. Hartshorn said some aircrew who are members of the APFA had expressed concern about flying DC routes over the upcoming days. Oh yeah, all Biden-loving Democrats, I'm sure. In some cases, they've subsequently been moved on to different trips. How convenient. But banning travelers who've been involved in the violence would be a Herculean task, he said. So they want people banned. See, this is about the fact of they want to ban Trump supporters from being able to travel freely in this country. They want every Trump supporter who dared go to Washington to pay for doing so, for exercising their constitutional right to voice their disapproval with what's going on. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. If the airline is aware of someone that has been abusive on the ground, involved in rioting and destruction of property and dangerous behavior, that if the airline was aware of it, they absolutely should not be allowed to fly home from Washington on our airline. I believe, again, that is very difficult to monitor. Well, here's the thing. You didn't do any of this when they were looting and rioting and burning shit down in Portland for 100 days. Over 100 days at this point, sorry. Well over 100 days. Okay? You didn't do that with anyone burning and looting and rioting and destroying cities over the summer. You gotta love the double standards here. Nelson, the AFA president, called on airlines and government agencies to step in for security. Basically, yeah, they want the government to ban people that are Trump supporters. Airlines, in coordination with the TSA, DHS, FAA, DOT, and law enforcement, must take all steps to ensure the safety and security of passengers and crew by keeping all problems on the ground, she added. So here's the thing. They didn't do anything on the airline. They went to Washington. They want basically anyone who went to Washington to be banned from flying back from Washington, and probably permanently. This is just the beginning, people. This is just the beginning. American Airlines stops alcohol service on DC flights. American Airlines says it's taking several new precautionary measures, including no longer serving alcohol on flights to and from Washington. Oh, yeah, like that's going to solve the country's problems. Like that's going to solve over half of America looking at the election and calling it a banana republic sham. Yeah, okay. Saying that, it is clear that, because over half the country doesn't buy the results of the election at this point. Over half. Well over half. And they think they're going to sell this shit. And you think stopping serving alcohol is going to solve the problem? American Airlines and United said their crew members with overnight layovers in the D.C. area will not stay in downtown hotels. Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines declined to specify any operational changes. Yeah, because, the Trump supporters are going to go after airline pilots and flight attendants. That makes a lot of freaking sense. They are so desperate to sell a narrative that they're trying to make it sound like those people are actually in danger from Trump supporters. Oh, my Lord. In an internal memo to Delta, employees on Thursday obtained by CNN, Delta CEO Ed Bastian called out the shocking violence at the U.S. Capitol and said protests must not cross the line into violence and insurrection. You didn't call anything out that happened in Portland, Oregon, or in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or in Cleveland, in Ohio. What was it? Cleveland, right? You You didn't, anywhere this shit happened, you didn't call any of that out. You didn't say people should not resort to violence. This is ridiculous. And I love how they're trying to portray this as insurrection. If there was an insurrection, they would have stormed the Capitol, taken control of it. They would have taken control of everything, okay? And there would have been an all-out battle in the streets. Okay, people protesting is not an insurrection. Respect and civility to others on our planes, at our airports, in our workplaces, and in our society, even if we have differences of opinion, has always been a requirement for our people and our customers, Bastian wrote. Really? Well, then all those flight attendants that, like, kicked people off for having Trump supporter masks, how many of them were from your airline again? Tolerance my ass, because I know there was more than one from your airline, asshole, that did that. I've seen the videos. Tolerance my ass. Basically, you need to tolerate. If you're not on our side, you need to tolerate our shit. We don't need to tolerate you. That's tolerance. That's what these people think now. The 4 major airlines also said they have been in touch with law enforcement and authorities and the Transportation Security Administration. I mean, seriously, this is the beginning. You know they're going to want these people banned permanently. They're going to make it so you can't travel any which way. They're going to try to lock your ass down for being a Trump supporter because it's now the time to make all the Trump supporters pay. That's the mentality at this point. They want you all to pay, people. They want me to pay. They want you to pay. They're going to do everything to destroy our lives because how dare we not bend over and take getting anally raped? Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.